Well, hello everyone. Good morning or good afternoon, depending upon where you are. I am Anne Marie Mabus, and I am with Branch Up, and I am so delighted to welcome you to our series of Branch Up Power Up webinars. And today we're really excited to bring one of our most special preferred partners, and that is AmaWaterways. We are delighted to have Alex Pinello, who's Senior Vice President of Sales for AMA with us, and Rob Huffman, who we will introduce in a little bit. But Alex has been not only a friend to the travel industry, but a personal friend. Many of you know Alex. I was reading his bio and I thought, wow, Alex, you look so much younger than me. But I didn't realize how many years you've really been in the industry. You spent almost 30 years with NCL. I think you're almost 8 years with AMA now, and even did 4 years with Disney when they started the cruise line. So you certainly have tremendous experience on the water, but within the travel industry, and you are such a friend to the travel agents, the travel advisors, and always have been. So you're such a wonderful addition to the AmaWaterways family, because there's no better river cruise line for the advisors than AmaWaterways, and we are delighted to have you as such a supporter of Branch Up. Our advisors love having you when we're doing all of your posts. So I just want to thank you personally for your support of Branch Up, and most especially your support of the travel industry and the advisors. You're really just a terrific company to work with, and I know you'll have a lot of information to share with our advisors today. And I just want the advisors to know that we are recording this. So we will be sending it to all of you, no matter what time that you get on, in case there are some people who are a few minutes late. We'll be sending it to everyone. You do have the ability to ask questions. So there, if you look in the top right-hand corner, there's a question mark. So please put your questions in that area, and we will take your questions at the end of the presentation. And we'll take as many as we can. We hope to take all of them. I'll be looking at the questions as our presentation is taking place. We will hold back anything of Branch Up until afterwards, because this is really about the educational components of AmaWaterways. But if we have time, we'll answer those. And if we don't, we'll get back to you after the session. So again, have a wonderful session. Alex, I'm going to turn this over to you. And again, thank you so much. And thank you to everyone at AmaWaterways for all you do for us.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Anne Marie. I think that was a nice way of calling me old. So you did a really nice job there. But no, I just celebrated 40 years in the industry in April. So I love what I do, and that's because, of course, I get to work with amazing people, amazing partners, amazing friends. You and I, Anne Marie, I mean, we've known each other for decades, and it's always a pleasure working with you and supporting you in your efforts. But before we get started, I did want to give a shout out to Branch Up. And AmaWaterways, like you mentioned, we have a great partnership with Branch Up. And all I can say is to the travel advisors listening to the webinar is, we sure hope you're taking advantage of all the wonderful things that they offer to you, free of charge. So, again, great tools, but from automatically posting to your social media feeds, really allowing you to have more time to focus on what you do best, and that's selling lots of AmaWaterways cruises to your clients. We hope, and Branch Up. They partner with suppliers like AmaWaterways, to really create all the posts, the reels, the newsletters for you. There's really no need to pay to create. All this content is readily available. It's really easy. It's easy on you, providing great support, and of course having the multiple suppliers and inspirational content on the platform. Of course, we love being there. They really become your one-stop marketing center, having the flexibility to manage the content by tailoring it to your preferences, allowing it to be posted automatically. So nothing that you have to do on your end. So again, it's that trust and the proven effectiveness of the automated content, ensuring that optimal engagement, increased brand visibility, increased support for your preferred suppliers, which hopefully AmaWaterways is one of them. And I love to say, as I say on all of our webinars, the travel advisors. You are truly, the lifeline of our business. And here at AmaWaterways, the majority of our business comes from you, our valued travel partners. So without you, we would not be here. So, we want to remind you that, we also offer you an incredible team. I'm sure Rob will go more into it during his presentation. Our local business development managers, you each have local support from a local business development manager. They're 100% focused, on you. They want to provide you with, all the tools, all the resources. We also have our travel advisor portal. So again, we hope AmaWaterways is your river cruise partner of choice. And if we're not, hopefully by the end of this presentation, we are. But again, thank you for all that you do for us as a partner. And we're really more than a supplier. We are your partner. We are your business partner. And if you're not successful, we're not successful. So we are forever grateful for all that you do for us here at AmaWaterways. But before I introduce Rob, I do have a lot of friends in the industry, Anne Marie. So it's not only you. I also have another dear friend, Camille. And Camille and I, we've known each other for a very long time. She is an amazing partner, an amazing friend. She's president and co-owner of Vista Travel Consultants. She really is dedicated, passionate about her business, her clients, her suppliers. She does a great job. Her clients love her. They keep coming back. Hey, it's all about creating those customers for life that will keep coming back to you time after time after time. And she truly does a great job there. She lives in Atlanta, actually a third generation in the business, the travel business, which was actually started by her grandmother, in the 50s and the 60s. And then her mom took over the business and she founded European Connections 30 years ago. And then now Camille is the president and co-owner, as I said, of Vista Travel Consultants. Anybody that knows her knows why she's so successful in her business. I'm personally honored to have her as not only a partner, but as a friend. We keep talking about cruising together, Camille. Hopefully, it's going to happen in 2025. I have no doubt it will. So thank you for taking the time to share some of your insights and best practices with, of course, all the travel advisors joining us today on this webinar. So you'll hear more from Camille later on in the webinar. But first, you're going to hear from Rob Huffman, who's our Director of Field Sales for the U.S. for AmaWaterways. He is based in Charlotte, North Carolina. He attended the University of Tennessee, a diehard sports enthusiast, of course, especially for the Tennessee Volunteers and the Carolina Panthers. Rob, you like me spent your entire career in the travel industry, and you also have spent 40 years. I guess 2024 marked your 40 years. So welcome to the club. 20 years on the oceans before moving to the rivers. I guess you moved to the rivers a little before me in 2012. I didn't make that smart move until 2017. And of course, many hobbies, including spending time with your beautiful family. You love to travel. You play golf. I'm jealous. I try to play golf. I guess you play golf. You enjoy the outdoors and anything to do with grilling. You have a beautiful wife, Megan, also in the travel industry. Three beautiful children, two sons, Jordan and Drew, and one daughter, Brennan. And you are a wingaholic, so you love wings, but with ranch dressing, as you mentioned. So that's great. So I love it. I love it. So hey, I love my wings too. So that's a good choice. So Rob will be presenting today and showing you how to enjoy and really not only enjoy partnering with AmaWaterways, but embracing the luxury on the rivers with AmaWaterways and understanding, the differences. There's really not a bad river cruise company out there, right? But we're different, and it's important to know the difference and recognize the difference. And Rob is going to walk you through the AmaWaterways difference. So take it away, Rob.
Fantastic, Alex. Thanks so much. And good afternoon, good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. As Alex mentioned, my name is Rob Huffman, and we're going to go off camera here to give you a little bit more. Sometimes some of you are watching on your phone or your iPad. It gets a little clunky. So we're going to go off camera. But when we go back to Q&A, we're going to come back on camera and answer all of your questions that you might have for sure. Once again, as Alex mentioned, my name is Rob Huffman, and I promise you, I'm not going to bore you with a long-winded version of the story of Rob. I think Alex has done a pretty good job of that already. But I do want to share just a little bit. As he mentioned, I've been in the travel industry my entire career. The majority of the time, as you heard, has been spent on the cruise side of the industry, 20 years on the oceans. But in 2012, I got this sense that river cruising was about to explode in both popularity and demand. So I left the ocean side of the business, went to work for a very well known, very well recognized river cruise line, one that you've probably seen all their commercials, and you probably your clients get a brochure a week from these guys, right? We all know who we're talking about. I spent 5 years there, and at the end of my tenure, toward the ends of my tenure there with Viking, I was recruited to work for an Australian-based river cruise line, making their way into North America, continuing to make their way into North America, obviously talking about Scenic. While I was with Scenic, I had the pleasure, the privilege to sail aboard AmaWaterways as a competitor. If you've ever sailed or experienced as a competitor the opportunity to see what the competition is doing, you know you walk around with a pretty critical eye, and I was certainly that person. I got to tell you, I was trying to figure out what we did at the time at Scenic better than AmaWaterways. And I can share with all of you, I could look you square in the eyes and say, there really wasn't anything at all. It really was a very impressive experience. Believe it or not, Christine Karst, one of our co-owners, co-founders and co-owners, was on board that particular sailing as well. I went up to her afterwards. I said, Christine, I get it now. I see why AmaWaterways wins the awards, why the travel advisors love your product. It really is impressive. So I'm a big believer that things happen for a reason, kind of karma. I believe all roads kind of led me personally here to where I am at AmaWaterways, and just delighted to share with you what we are all about. And Alex alluded to this, and I couldn't agree more. There's no such thing as a bad river cruise. I'm not saying we're not going to talk anything negative about any of the other lines that are out there. Everybody has their own clientele, their own niche to some degree. But there are a few things that we do at AmaWaterways that are a little bit different than some of those other river cruise lines. Believe it or not, we have been in business for 22 years. This year we celebrated 22 years. And we truly believe that we lead the way when it comes to river cruising. We are solely a river cruise line company. There is no expedition, there is no ocean, there are no tour company sides. We are dedicated 100% and focused on river cruising. In addition to that, we're really proud. We're really lucky, actually, to be family owned and operated. Many of you, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that you probably know these three people here. They are probably the most approachable, engaged, responsive ownership team in the industry. Rudy, who you see on the left there, he's considered the godfather of river cruising. Believe it or not, he was the president of that very well known, very well recognized river cruise line back in the late 90s, early 2000s. And it was there that he met Christine Karst, who was also an executive at that other cruise line. You know what? They decided they wanted to go out and start their very own river cruise line. They went out, they met a gentleman by the name of Jimmy Murphy. Jimmy at the time was the principal of an Irish tour operator, Brendan Vacations. And he sold that company, obviously, to the travel corporations, and he took the proceeds, joined Rudy and Christine, and again, 22 years ago, we launched AmaWaterways. Unfortunately, in 2014, Jimmy passed away, but his son, Gary, who you see here, pictured here as well, Gary was already a very important part of the AmaWaterways team. But he picked up his father's legacy and has joined Rudy and Christine as our co-owners and a very integral part of our executive team. We are just so absolutely privileged and honored to have these three that basically everything we do as a company starts with these three people that you see here. And the love that is AmaWaterways trickles down from them, not only to our staff and our shoreside team, but we're confident that our guests feel this same love that is AmaWaterways as well. Now, for many of you have perhaps booked river cruises. Many of you have taken a river cruise, but some of you may have not. And so we want to share with you our philosophy. Our philosophy at AmaWaterways is that oceans take you to countries, but rivers take you through countries. I like to give an example. I like to compare the AmaWaterways experience to that of an upscale, a high-end, land-based tour throughout Europe. But I'm a little bit biased. I think we have a leg up on those tour operators, those tour programs. And here's our philosophy as it relates to that. If you've ever done one of those land-based tours or booked your clients, they probably come back telling you, gosh, we go pretty hard all day long. We get back to our hotel, we just have enough time to get our new clothes out of our bag, put our old clothes in the bag, put our bags outside by the door, because we've got to hop on a motor coach to our next destination at the crack of dawn the next morning. When you book your clients on AmaWaterways, not only do they not have that hassle of packing and unpacking and motor coach after motor coach, they have the opportunity to sail in luxury along the highways of yesteryear in a very intimate manner. The average capacity of our fleet, 150 guests. But there's more. There's so many other advantages and benefits. You know, when it comes to AmaWaterways, we focus on cultural immersion. It's all about your clients spending as much time in the destination as they possibly can. For those of you that have never taken a river cruise, it might surprise you. We pull into the heart of the destination, we lower the gangway. Your clients, I'm not exaggerating, I promise, your clients take a dozen, 2 dozen steps, and they're in the heart of the city, the heart of where the action is. They're in the city center in Amsterdam. They're looking at that beautiful Dom Cathedral in Cologne. In Budapest, we dock at the foot of the chain bridge, which is literally right in front of that fantastic, that gorgeous Parliament building. We've all seen those beautiful pictures. So it really is about having access and focused on that, the destination and that cultural immersion. And oh, by the way, I kind of think we have a leg up on those ocean lines too. Many of you, if not all of you, I'm going to go out on a limb and wager, have taken an ocean cruise. When you go out and sit on your balcony and you open up your door and sit down with your cup of coffee or your glass of wine, what do you see? You see water for miles and miles and miles. Look at this spectacular scenery. You have, along the iconic rivers of the world, ever-present and ever-changing scenery. And so that's just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the fantastic benefits of river cruising. Now, we have a limited amount of time with you today. Anne Marie would have my head if I went through every single one of these bullets with you, because we'd be here well over our allotted time. We've already talked about a couple, family owned and operated, but I want to go back. I want to go back to my time as a competitor when I had the opportunity, the privilege to sail aboard AmaWaterways. I got to tell you, I was really impressed by the food. I was really impressed with the excursions, but there was one thing that stood out to me more than anything else. That was the staff and the crew. I, Smiles all the time. The word no, I was amazed. The word no simply did not exist. Our staff, our crew, their number one goal is to exceed the expectations of your clients. We want your clients coming back, telling you about the fantastic time they had, telling their friends, their family, their loved ones, letting them know, and hopefully coming back and rebooking their next cruise. All English speaking, all professionally trained. Again, number one focus is to exceed your clients' expectations. Now, Alex mentioned at the top a couple of the things, right? We want to focus on some of the things. We know you have a number of options when it comes to river cruising. So we want to talk about a few things as well where we think we do things a little bit differently, right? Our points of distinction, if you will. In any conversation, we start with our points of distinction. has to include our cruise managers. We're focused on that service I just mentioned, right? And so many of you likely know when your clients book a river cruise, regardless of AmaWaterways, other lines, oftentimes they'll have the opportunity to extend their time in the destination by booking a land component, a pre or a post land-based extension. Now, typically in the industry, when your clients arrive in the destination, they're met at the airport, they're transferred to a hotel. With the other river cruise lines, when they get to the hotel on their pre
Rob,
and their post, yes, ma'am,
Rob, this is Anne Marie. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but
that's
we're not
okay.
seeing the PowerPoint presentation.
Oh,
So I'm wondering what happened with the camera. So I've asked Michelle to please try to
thank you.
fix this. So just continue to speak, of course, but just know that
Sure, sure, sure,
none,
sure.
no one
Let
is
me see.
seeing your presentation.
Thank you. I am
Rob,
so
Rob,
glad you shared.
r-
Yep,
there we go. You just reshared. Can we see the
fantastic.
camera now?
Perfect. Everybody good?
Yes, we're good now. Thank you. You might want to go back 2 slides
Sure.
and take your time.
No worries. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know. So this was the slide with the bullet points I was referring to, where Anne Marie would have my head, right? A lot of those things. Here's the slide on the service, and then of course we have our cruise managers. And as I was saying, when your clients arrive in the destination, they're transferred to the hotel. With a lot of the competitors, they're met at the hotel by a tour company. At AmaWaterways, we are committed to delivering that service. And to give you an example of the type of service we deliver, our cruise managers are there with your clients the entire time they're on their pre or post extension. So that is just the level of service that we deliver. A couple of other things that we do, right? Number one, we talked about cultural immersion. We talked about the opportunity to really focus on the destination. Well, we're also focused on bringing that cultural immersion aboard the ships as well. Every one of our ships will have an entertainer, a vocalist, a pianist, but it's very common to see, perhaps if you're on the Danube, a Hungarian dance troupe. If you're sailing on the Rhine, perhaps during the Christmas markets, the holiday season, you might have a children's choir that comes aboard that sings Christmas carols. I had the opportunity to sail this time last year. We were on the Main, sailing the Main Canal down to the Danube, and we had this wonderful entertainer who had spent time on Broadway, who was from that region. Just a lovely vocalist and just absolutely amazing. But here's another area. This is something we do much differently than just about every one of our other competitors. On all of our European and South Asia itineraries, we have wellness instructors. Now, there's one exception. Unfortunately, the Douro River, we do not have the wellness program. But the rest of the fleet throughout Europe and Southeast Asia, we have the opportunity to continue our exercise routine, if you'd like, while you're on vacation, while you're on holiday. Each of our ships will have a dedicated wellness instructor. We offer yoga, Pilates, stretch classes. Some of our ships even offer spin classes that your clients can take advantage of. Because at AmaWaterways, we tend to be more active with wellness programs, and we'll get into shore excursions here momentarily. We tend to skew a little bit younger, or at least younger at heart. Now, this is a really big point of differentiation. For those of you, again, that may be new to selling river cruises, it's likely you have heard ashore excursions included in every port of call. And while that's likely true on a very broad spectrum, at AmaWaterways, we're a little bit different. Those other guys will offer one shore excursion in each port of call. At AmaWaterways, we offer anywhere from 2 to 6 different shore excursions that your clients can take advantage of, included in the cost of the cruise. We offer hiking and biking and wine tasting, beer tasting, city tours, museum visits. The list goes on and on and on. Again, all included in the cost of the cruise. In addition to that, we have three different types of activity levels. We have, of course, a regular walker tour that's pretty self-explanatory. We have an active walker tour. If your clients want to move at a little more brisk pace and keep the heart pumping, the blood racing, we have that for our exercise guys and gals. But we also have a gentle walker tour. If you have clients that want to move at a little slower pace, not as many hills, cobblestone streets, things of that nature, we have that option as well. They still get to see all the highlights, all the great sights that everyone else does, just at a little slower pace. So those are great opportunities and a big point of distinction. Now, with some of our friendly competitors, they will offer other options as well, in addition to the one shore excursion that's included. Usually that one shore excursion that's included is a city tour. That means everybody on that ship's getting off doing the same tour, likely at the same time. But if they offer the optional tours, they come with a price tag, anywhere from $50 to $200 per person. Just not the way we do things at AmaWaterways. We are not going to nickel and dime your clients when they sail with us. All of the shore excursions with AmaWaterways are included. We also like to bring exclusive experiences. And to give you a couple of examples, everybody, when you think about Germany and you think late September into October, what do you think of? You think of Oktoberfest, right? The maids with the bear steins, the pretzels, sausages, things of that nature. Well, not everybody has the opportunity to sail during Oktoberfest. So when your clients sail with us on the Danube and specifically visit the port of Wilshaven, we have a mini Oktoberfest celebration that they have an opportunity to experience. Very, very similarly, when your clients sail in Bordeaux, we have a wine festival experience that they can enjoy. We're going to talk in a moment about a new itinerary in South America, Colombia, South America, on the Magdalena River. That region is known for the carnivals that take place. We're going to have an exclusive carnival experience on every single sailing. It's just another example of some of the things that we at AmaWaterways do a little bit differently. And speaking of doing things differently, we take great pride. I mean, how important is food in your client's cruise experience, whether river or ocean? At AmaWaterways, our culinary teams are they're dedicated to delivering exceptional Epicurean experiences for your clients. We were so proud, so honored, and humbled to have been invited to become members of Le Chêne de Rôtisseur. If you're not familiar, Le Chêne de Rôtisseur is one of, if not the highest culinary recognition that a hospitality, a travel organization can receive. Every one of our AmaWaterways ships has been recognized by Le Chêne de Rôtisseur. That sets the bar pretty high right there when it comes to the overall dining. But we don't stop there. Just like all of the other cruises, all your meals and snacks when you're aboard the ships are included. We also include beer, wine, and soft drinks at lunch and dinner. And don't worry, if your clients want that mimosa at breakfast, we can make that happen for them as well. But there's something else we do that no other river cruise line does. And that's our spin on alternative specialty dining, if you will. And that's our chef's table specialty dining experience. A 6 to 7 course menu, multiple wines paired throughout the course of the evening. You see our chef in the background there preparing the courses. He or one of our head waiter will come out, and before each course, they'll speak to the preparation, presentation, the ingredients, the wine that's paired with it, and why. Every one of our guests, at least one time throughout the course of their cruise, have the opportunity to enjoy the chef's table specialty dining. This is included in the cost of the cruise. Again, another great example how we're not going to nickel and dime your clients when they sail on the waterways. We're very fortunate. We're very, very, very proud to receive pretty high marks when it comes to dining. When your clients complete our surveys and speak to the chef's table, it really does go through the roof. Really is a wonderful experience. Now, I'm asked on a regular basis, Rob, do you guys offer a drink package? And the reality is we're in the process of considering that, and it may be something that comes into play in 2025. But I gotta be honest with you. I like to have a good time just like the next person. So let's look at a typical day at AmaWaterways. You're in port, you get up, you have breakfast. Remember, you have that mimosa if you'd like. You go out, you do a tour, you come back, it's lunch. At lunchtime, beer, wine, and soft drinks are included. More often than not, you're in port for the afternoon, so you're going to go do a second tour, and remember, included in the cost of the cruise. Then you come back, and you may have a little time for a little rest, but then we have our sip and sail happy hour every evening, about an hour or so before dinner, where all the beer, your beer, wine, and several cocktails included in the cost of the cruise. That vodka soda, gin and tonic, Cosmo, lemon drop martini, glass of bourbon, included in the cost of the cruise. Then it's dinner time where wine and beer is included. Then you come down. That's just going to be about the only time you'll be buying a cocktail is after dinner. And they're very, very moderately priced. Just to give you an idea, I live in Charlotte, North Carolina. I will guarantee you will not find a Grey Goose martini in Charlotte, North Carolina for $8.50. That's what we charge on AmaWaterways. This is probably my favorite slide in the entire presentation. I like this slide. This gives you an idea of what one of our vessels looks like. And I like this slide for a number of different reasons. For those of you that have taken a river cruise, this will come as no surprise to you. But for those of you that have not or are starting to get into the business or river cruising, it might surprise you to learn, especially along the Rhine, the Main, the Danube rivers, many of the rivers throughout Europe, all of our ships, regardless of river cruise line, travel company, tour company, what have you, all of our ships are basically the same size. We can only be so long and so wide because we navigate locks going up and down the rivers. Now, why is this important to you? Better yet, why is this important to your clients? Well, it's important for a number of reasons. First and foremost, at AmaWaterways, we carry 25 to 30% fewer people than some of our competitors. We're not just trying to cram as many people on the ships as we possibly can. What does that mean? Well, it means number one, it means smaller tour groups for those excursions. It means we have a specialty dining chef's table. It means we have swimming pools and bicycles and wellness instructors and so many other features and benefits that your clients can take advantage of. And oh, by the way, based on my experience and tenure in the industry, I think it lends itself to a higher level of service as well. Now, there is one exception to the so long, so wide rule, and that is the appropriately named Ama Magna. In 2019, we were just beyond excited to launch the Ama Magna. The Ama Magna is a very unique vessel. The reason being, she's twice the width of all the other river ships that are out there. So she's exclusively on the Danube River. She sails from Nuremberg, Wilshafen, all the way past Budapest, down almost to the Black Sea. She just can't, she's too wide to fit through the Main Canal up to the Rhine River. So she's on the Danube River exclusively. Even though she's twice the width of the other river ships, we only accommodate 196 guests. This is how many guests one of our competitors puts on all their river ships that are half the size of the Ama Magna. Again, not just trying to put as many people on the ships as we possibly can. Because she's larger, she has a number of different fantastic features and benefits, in addition to what all of our other ships have. We have 4 dining venues instead of the 2. The main dining room and the chef's table are on pretty much fleet wide, but we also have al fresco dining area as well as Jimmy's, named and dedicated to one of our co-founders, Jimmy Murphy, which is a wonderful family-style sit-down experience. But all of our ships, make no mistake, have just a wealth of onboard amenities that your clients can enjoy. We have salon and spa services. We have swimming pools and bicycles. We have just so many different features. And oh, by the way, the Ama Magna has a full-size regulation pickleball court. So for those pickleball lovers out there. When it comes to accommodations, we offer different stateroom accommodations ranging in square footage from 170 to over 700 square feet. Obviously, when we talk over 700 square feet, those are going to be our suite accommodations. And then you have a number of different categories from which to choose, ranging from river view to French balcony to twin balcony. We also have a limited number of triple and quad accommodations as well as connecting staterooms. We are really, really excited about the next couple of years. We have 9 new ships joining the fleet. The Amalilia joined earlier this year in Egypt. You see the 2 ships coming to South America with the Ama Magdalena and Melodia. We have 3 ships joining our Europe fleet this year, the Ama Stella, Veneta, and Reina. The Ama Sophia coming in 2026, the Ama Sintra on the Douro River in next year. And then we're delighted to announce in 2026 another ship on the Mekong. We are committed to growth. You guys have done such a wonderful job in selling AmaWaterways. You make this an easy decision for us to add more ships to the fleet. And oh, by the way, we recently announced for 2027 a second Ama Magna ship that will be built and launched. So we're excited about what's to come. So you've seen a little bit about software and hardware. Hopefully you're asking yourself, gosh, sounds pretty good. Where does AmaWaterways sail? And here's a map of the iconic destinations that we sail to. If you look at the bottom left there in Portugal, the Douro River, we're on the Douro. As I mentioned, we're adding a 3rd ship on that itinerary next year. Move up a little bit to France. We're on just about all the rivers throughout France. You see in the top left, South America, Asia. Top right, we have Africa and Egypt. But our sweet spot, without question, without hesitation, our sweet spot starts up here in the Netherlands, in Amsterdam, and is right through the heart of Europe, again, almost all the way to the Black Sea. That is where you're going to find the majority of our fleet, sailing the Rhine, the Main, the Danube, the Mosel rivers, just to name a few. And these are the storied rivers without question when it comes to Europe. You sail the Rhine River, and it certainly has all kinds of just fairy tale castles, especially through the Middle Rhine or the Rhine Gorge. As you get to the Danube, you have this fantastic architecture. You have the Parliament building in Budapest. You have classical music that just is fingerprints of classical music across the entire region. We talked about France as well. We're in Bordeaux, Provence, Paris to Normandy. The Douro River in Portugal is probably our most popular itinerary right now, just incredibly high demand. But it's important to note our 3 ships on the Douro River, they're a little smaller than our other ships on the Rhine and the Danube. And the reason for that is the Douro River, by the way, it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, but the Douro River is a little bit more windy and narrow. So those ships accommodate 102 guests. Africa, we do a cruise tour combination. Cape Town, we're in Cape Town for several days before making our way to the Chobe River, eventually on to Victoria Falls, if you'd like, Johannesburg, and even Kruger National Park. We mentioned the Mekong River a moment ago with the 2nd ship coming in 2026. Just Vietnam and Cambodia, just imagine Angkor Wat, Siem Reap, Hanoi, Ha Long Bay. Colombia, the Magdalena River. I got to say, I had a chance to speak to Rudy earlier this year. I'm like, Rudy, what's the inspiration for Colombia? He said, Rob, it's all about that cultural immersion. He said the culture, the colors, the wildlife, the horticulture, the people, the music, and obviously coffee, right? And he was just, you could see that sparkle in his eye when he spoke about it. And then, of course, Egypt. Egypt is a very special itinerary. We added a 2nd ship on the Nile this year with the Amalilia. In the Egypt River, we have 2 ships, but you spend 3 nights in Cairo. We visit the pyramid, the Sphinx. We spend 3 nights in either the Ritz, the St. Regis, or the Four Seasons before making our way down to Luxor and sailing the Nile River for 7 nights, seeing the Valley of the Kings, visiting a Nubian village, high tea at the Cataract Hotel. Really a special experience. Every one of our itineraries offers your clients the opportunity for a pre or post extension that I mentioned a little bit earlier. As an example, when you sail on the Danube River, you can extend in Prague for 3 nights. If you sail with us in Egypt, you have a choice between Jordan, with the likes of Petra that you see here, as well as perhaps Dubai. So lots of options your clients can choose from. We realize at AmaWaterways that air is a very integral part of your client's experience. It's amazing to us that some river cruise lines will charge your clients a fee just to have a conversation with their air team. That's not the way we operate at AmaWaterways. You have direct access to our air team. We want to make it as easy as possible for you and your clients to sail with AmaWaterways. You dial 1-800-AmaWaterways, you hit prompt 4, you get to talk right with our air team. As Alex mentioned in his introduction as well, we have a dedicated sales team here to support and assist you every step of the way. Again, another thing that we do a little bit differently. Some of you may be independent contractors or hosted advisors. Your host may be on the other side of the country. That doesn't matter to us. We are here to provide you with local representation, regardless of whether your host agency is in your backyard or 1,000 miles away. We have a dedicated team of business development managers across the U.S. and Canada that are here and anxious and eager to work closely with you to help you grow your business. But make no mistake, it's you, it's our partners that are, as Alex mentioned, the heartbeat of AmaWaterways. Well over 90% of our business comes from you. We are so proud of that. We truly appreciate everything you do. Your success is our success without question. So again, no, we're definitely appreciative and we want to work closely with you in helping you grow your overall business. Alex also mentioned our travel advisor portal. And if you don't remember anything else from our time together today, please remember, go register if you haven't done so already on our travel advisor portal. It's your one-stop shop for everything AmaWaterways. It has our Ama Academy. It has a wealth of marketing materials that you can customize, from flyers to social media posts. We have toolkits that are amazing. There's just a wealth of different toolkits that you can put to use right away. It's also home for our webinar Wednesdays. Many of you are likely aware we do webinars every Wednesday. All the recorded webinars are right there at your fingertips, on a variety of different topics. And you also have our online booking engine as well as our co-branded website. It literally takes you less than 5 minutes to create a website that mirrors the AmaWaterways website with one difference. The call to action is not AmaWaterways. The call to action is you, your agency, your name, your phone number. And then, of course, on the portal, you can also find information. We want you to sail with us. We want you to experience the AmaWaterways product. You have all kinds of different FAM opportunities listed right there from which to choose as well. Right now in the marketplace, we have a couple of different promotions, and this is, again, another area we're a little bit different. I'm not sure what your thoughts are when it comes to promotions. Mine has been that oftentimes it's almost like there has to be a full moon. You have to be 5'2" with purple hair to take advantage of a promotion. And oh, by the way, it's not combinable with anything else. At AmaWaterways, we want to make it as easy as possible for you. So in the market right now, we have save up to 20% on select Europe, Asia, Egypt, and Colombia departures throughout 24, 25, and even into 26. This is combinable with our Air Plus program. You see these rates, not sure if you've checked rates to Europe lately, but our economy air starts at $8.99. That goes up in 2026 to $9.99. And you can see the Canadian prices there as well. But we also have the economy, premium economy, and business class options for your clients if they so choose. Now, just so you know, very quickly, Air Plus is applicable to every departure outside of 330 days. When we are inside of 330 days, it's applicable to departures where a promotion is in place. So it really is a terrific opportunity for your clients. And again, we truly recognize how important the role that air plays in your client's experience. So Miss Anne Marie, that is all that I had for you this afternoon. I figured we would come back and answer a few questions if you'd like.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Rob. That was an excellent presentation and so thorough with so much information. And before we get to the questions, Alex had already introduced Camille, but it's always so helpful to hear from somebody who's an expert that is a peer to our audience. And Camille, it's amazing that you're a third generation agency owner and advisor. And I think you could probably answer all the questions that are in the portal right now, but can you just tell me a little bit about your best practices and why you work with AmaWaterways? Your mic, you have to put your mic on, Camille.
Yes. Can you hear me now? Yes.
Yes.
That's probably a whole new webinar in itself, but I'll start by saying our partnership with AmaWaterways goes way back. As you saw in the slide that Rob had a few minutes ago, that my mother was in that slide, and she was a big promoter of river cruising and AmaWaterways. And some of the best practices that she taught us, and she's no longer with us, so we carry this on with my brother, my sister, and I in our agency now. It's the partnerships are very important. Being loyal to a partner is very important. So with AmaWaterways, many years ago, my mother sat me down with Gary Murphy, one of the owners at Virtuoso Travel Week, and she left me there and told Gary that he needed to tell me how to become $1 million AmaWaterways agent, and she left me there. So Gary was like, "Oh God, well, whatever Sandy says, you better listen." So we sat there and we talked about different ways to have sales with AmaWaterways. One of our biggest successes is with groups, in creating groups, selling groups, and going after certain markets. We have a very successful Catholic parish river cruise group that they like to go on AMA, and you have the priest as your tour conductor. So I think that's a very important learning tool for these agents on the webinar is learn about AMA's product and who you can sell it to. So AMA is a luxury brand cruise line. It's the luxury market. You need the luxury clients in order to sell this product. And one thing about selling AmaWaterways is they're there for you from the start to finish. So other cruise lines, when it comes to air and everything else, in between, one way to be successful with AmaWaterways is to know that they can handle everything. So it's your easiest way to sell anything. The agents in our agency, we say all the time, if we could just sell air, I'd rather sell AmaWaterways. I'd rather sell AmaWaterways river cruises than sell $60,000 FITs, because with AMA, you make one call, you close the sale. Once you close the sale, they will walk you through every step. So for my advice for all of the agents on here is to really learn, go onto their portal. They have an amazing portal. Get to know things. I see on a lot of the agent message boards where they're asking questions that are so easily answered by AmaWaterways, staff. Your BDM is your biggest asset. Rob used to be my BDM before he was promoted. And you can call them anytime, you can text them anytime. Rob would answer my calls at like 10, 11 o'clock at night. They take such great care of your clients.
Camille, and that, you said a lot right there, and I think
Mhm.
that is so important. There is a question that Lisa asked, what is the
Okay.
link for the AMA travel portal? And I believe Michelle's already answered that, but you just want to say what it is, Rob, so that
Sure.
everybody
So if
hears.
you happy to, Anne Marie. So simply go to our website, www.amawaterways.com, and you'll see in the upper right-hand corner, it will say Travel Advisor Login. And if you've registered, great. If you just log right in there. If not, then you simply fill in the information, register, and we'll get back to you within 24 hours with your login information.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And Camille, you spoke about your family and of course the family of AmaWaterways, which really is a family. And this being Thanksgiving week, at least here in the US, I mean, it really is apropos. I actually knew, Mr. Murphy. He was one of my, oh, I think, oh my gosh, she lost me, but you can still hear me. He was a mentor of mine. So, it is a family business. And everybody's business is family in the travel business, right? We're this big family business. But you mentioned to me yesterday about what happened in the pandemic, and I think it's a great example. Do you just want to share that, Camille, with everybody on this call?
Yeah, so the pandemic, during the pandemic, being in the travel industry was very difficult, and being agency owners, it was very difficult. AmaWaterways was the only river cruise line out there that took care of not only our clients but us. So when all the cruises were being canceled because they could not sail, Ama paid us anyway. We rescheduled groups, we rescheduled clients. They paid us when they rescheduled. Even if it canceled again, they still paid us again. Sometimes we got paid 2 to 3 times commission on one sailing. They kept all the agents and agencies going. I owe so much to them for that. I mean, I remember in the beginning of the pandemic when Gary called me to talk to me, and he said, what can we do to keep the advisors engaged during all this? And we talked about doing the webinars, and then AMA created the webinar Wednesday, and I think I was on their second webinar. So I just have to say that you, as an agency owner, you have to be loyal to partners that were loyal to you and to your clients. They did not let our clients down. Not one client was without. If they decided to get a refund, AMA 100% refunded them. There were no strings attached. They did what they needed to do, and they did the right thing. So
And I think that is such an important point for everyone listening. Rob's gave you all the features and benefits, and they're so true. They offer so much. They're all inclusive in so many ways, but it's not always just what they do in good times. It's what and who they are in bad times. And I think that's really a perfect example of what partnership really means. Camille, I don't want to cut you short because I think we need to give you a webinar just by yourself. So we may be calling you so that you can give Branch Up a webinar with AmaWaterways. But I'd like to take some of the questions that maybe both of you can answer. So Melody, let me go down to the bottom first, though, so that we don't. I believe Nick's was answered. Somebody went to UT as well, Rob. So they wanted you to know that. Kathy Secondor. Timothy Taylor asked if the volume could go up. The slides. We had a lot of people asking for the slides, so I'm glad that we were able to solve that.
Thank you.
And thank you, everyone, for your patience with that. We apologize, technical difficulties. Somebody wanted to know, what would you suggest as the first river cruise for a new client who's never river cruised?
Yeah, so it's a great question. And Anne Marie, it's one that we're asked on a regular basis. And when you look at river cruising in general, you look just kind of at a very high level. The entire industry, the majority of our fleet is along the Rhine, the Main, the Danube rivers, right through the heart of Europe. And that tends to be where most of our first time cruisers will look to book. You can't go wrong with either one. They're both pure magic. Your clients will absolutely enjoy both. My first was on the Rhine. I loved it. If you ask me to pick between the Rhine and the Danube, I just can't do it. They're both unique and different, but certainly very, very special. But that would probably be what I would recommend. Camille, agree? Disagree?
I agree. Definitely the Danube and the Rhine, because there's something for everybody on those cruises. They're great also for multi-gen families. There's so much to do both on the Rhine and the Danube for families. And that's another thing, that if everybody targets the multi-gen groups, they have an amazing time on those trips. I definitely agree with Rob on the Danube and the Rhine. Also for first timers, if you love wine, first timers going on wine cruises, absolutely love them, and they will keep going on them. I have clients that are on their fourth wine cruise as we speak. on the Ama Sienna. They get off tomorrow, and they said if Thanksgiving wasn't next week and they didn't need to get home, they would stay on the ship and go the other way. So that's how much the clients just they love them. So also look at the specialty cruises for first timers. Christmas markets cruises are great. New Year's Eve cruises, all great for first timers.
There is somebody going on a Christmas cruise 2025 with AMA, so she's very excited. Many of the advisors are saying they're very excited about this presentation and can't wait to sell AMA. Let's see what else. What are some ways to find luxury clients? We only have 4 minutes left, so. And by the way, Rob, you sounded like Snoop Dogg with "I can't choose, I can't decide." On The Voice, he can never choose. So, what are some ways to find luxury clients? Camille, do you want to take that?
Yes, get involved in your local community, and you right away you'll know who will want to go on a river cruise. Especially, you need to stay away from the clients that are going to ask you for a bargain. There are no bargains. You have to sell what you sell is the quality and what's included in AmaWaterways. Because if you had to price that out individually, it would cost way more than it does for a river cruise. Concentrate on your top clients every year, and they let them refer to you clients as referrals. So spend more time on your high spending clients and you will get more in return.
Okay. And how do you know which cruises qualify for the 20% off, Rob? Were they
So
listed there?
yeah, no, what basically you can take a look on the Travel Advisor portal or call us, right? We want you to call us as well. It varies based on seasonality and departure date and itinerary. But it could be 10%, it could be 5%, 15, 20%. So the best thing to do is you're welcome to your BDM can help you with that information or reach out to our call center who's eager to help.
Okay, and Valia is asking which is better for education seminar at sea or FAM? I would think that they were
Yeah,
both the same.
it's great question, right? And so when you sail with AmaWaterways, and again, we want you to experience the product. Seminars on the river mean we have a host, usually one of our business development managers. We want you to experience the product. Even if it's a seminar on the river, you might have an hour-long seminar, maybe two, depending on the BDM. But we want you, the reason you're there is to experience the product. So the seminar on the river is escorted. The FAMs are not escorted. It's entirely up to you. The bottom line is we want you aboard the ships. And Anne Marie, if you don't mind, I saw a question Timothy asked as well, and I'd really like to address it. It has to do with shore excursions, and some river cruise lines, they get kind of shut out of shore excursions, they get sold out. That's
Absolutely.
not the way we do things at Alma Waterways. I mean, you pick your shore excursions ahead of time. When you get to the ship, the cruise manager has a welcome aboard, goes through every port of call on the shore excursions. If your clients want to change their mind on every one, they can. We're not going to let them leave them on the gangway or leave them on the ship. They're not going to get shut out of shore excursions in any way. So again, another example of the flexibility and our commitment to exceeding your clients' expectations. But one last thing, Anne Marie, and then I'll turn it back over to you. Camille mentioned that to social media, right? There are a couple of things on social media. We have a Facebook group, the AmaWaterways Advisor Group. If you haven't joined, you got to check it out. There is just advisors only, and they go back and forth and banter. Camille, I know you're active on that as well, but you can gain a lot of information and insight that would be quite valuable in working in your day-to-day sales with your clients. So be sure to check that out too.
It's a great points. I mean, the information that you've all shared, both Rob and Camille, I cannot thank you enough. We're going to have to do this again because there's just so much more information that our advisors want. We will send everybody the slides. Michelle will be doing a link and we'll send this to everybody. And we'll also put it in the branch up portal and each of you know where that is. If we didn't answer a question, we will get back to you with that. I'm sorry we've run out of time, but it's always great to leave wanting more. So thank you so much, Rob, for a
Thank
terrific
you.
presentation. And Camille, thank you so much for giving
Thank
your
you.
time.
You're welcome.
You're a very, very successful advisor, and we're so happy to have had you a part of this. So thank you so much, everyone.
You're
Have a
welcome.
happy Thanksgiving, everyone, and stay well.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.